shifting from like going out of a situation where you're really stuck is difficult, but making immediate decisions to quote unquote make you feel that okay, I doing this will help me get out of this situation, that is not smart. So just think about your situation, and then once you've thought it through so many times, then that's the time that you have to make the leap.
Hey everyone, it's me again, Jay Christ, and you're listening to the voice of Kate Ringcodan. Kate is the co-founder of CrewBloom, a B2B and B2C outsourcing consultant and a remote work advocate. I sit down with Kate to talk about her design life stories from ground up, how she transitions from having a 9-to-5 job into building a business, the idea and stories behind CrewBloom, practical tips on finding your high-paying skills, and valuable insights on how you can maximize the potentials of LinkedIn, and a lot more. These are really interesting and valuable talk with Kate, and we've reconnected after a year, so I really enjoy this podcast episode, and I hope you enjoy this also. And for those who are asking how to support the show, you can support the show by sharing your favorite episode. If you like this episode, if you find this valuable, you can share it to your friends, family, colleagues, or even strangers. So I don't get any money from advertisers, so this is 100% ads free. So I like to roll the dice and try this big experiment and how will it goes. So thank you so much for those who really support the show, and I really appreciate it. And for those who are listening from the start until now, and we're actually on episode 31, and I'm really excited in this journey, and thank you so much for joining me, right? So especially for my Patreons, which is Semanalang and Gio Ben Silva. Thank you so much for sharing your money and to keep this running, and I really appreciate it. So my objective is to have a patrons of 2,000. So in that way, I can make more episode or improve the audio and get some awesome guests onto the show. So I really need your help. So if you like to help me to reach that goal, you can go to patreon.com/TDLS. That's patreon.com/TDLS. And I'm only asking for at least $1 or 50 pesos, and it will keep me to share more values and talk more about UX, business, and startup ideas and creativity in this show, right? So that's the most important thing. So share some values and reach more people, right? So thank you so much for sharing all of your thoughts on leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes. If you haven't already, make sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. In that way, you can help me to reach more people, right? So I don't wanna waste your time anymore. So I think we can go now and dive into this week episode, and I'm really excited. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy this episode. You're listening to the Design Life Show, a podcast that's helping everyone grow to live a meaningful and creative life. It's me, Jay Christ, a designer from the Philippines, best known for being an advocate of essentialism and optimism. I'm sitting down with awesome people to talk about their journey, their process, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of TDLS, and it's me again, Jay Christ, and I'm super stoked today because I'm here with Kate. So we've been reconnected for
Yes.
I think for almost a year now, if I'm not mistaken. So without further ado, guys, so I will talk now with Kate. So hi Kate, welcome to the show.
Hey.
So yeah. Woo.
Glad to be here.
Until I can afford the sound, the effects, the sound effects. So I will just clap.
Let me do that for you.
Yeah. So welcome again, Kate. So how are you? So it's been
Good.
cool. So for those who are listening, just to give context in this podcast episode, can you share a little bit about your background? What are you doing right now? Can you share it and share a little bit about your personal life?
Yep, of course. So first and foremost, Jay, thank you so much for having me here. It's really a pleasure to reconnect with you after a year or so.
Yeah, it's my honor. It's my honor.
It's been a long time, so I'm really glad we are able to reconnect. But yeah, my name is Kate. I am the co-founder of CrewBloom. So CrewBloom is a home-based call center, to put it simply. We help Filipinos find home-based jobs, and we connect them with awesome companies in the US. So just a bit of a background before I started CrewBloom, I was working remotely. So when I graduated from college, I came from Baguio City. And then I went to Manila. So from Baguio to Manila, it was, of course, as you guys could imagine, a really difficult shift for me because Baguio is still, in a way, even if it's a city, it's a small city compared to Metro Manila. So moving to Manila to find a job, it was a struggle for me, honestly. The first or the biggest struggle for me is commute. It was difficult for me to commute in Metro. Yes. It was horrid. It was terrifying for me because in Baguio, I was just walking. But in Manila, I have to learn how to ride MRT and LRT. Yes. I don't even know how to tap before. So it was difficult. And then finding a job in Metro Manila is not just difficult because of the commute, it's also difficult because of the pay. I came to Manila to find a really good paying job, but what I found was there's not a lot really of opportunity especially for entry level graduates. So I decided, okay, I need to take a step back and look at the other options that I have. Back then, it was super popular to be an online English teacher. So I'm sure everyone, especially for freelancers, they've heard about being a home-based teacher. So that's what I did. I actually started my career working home-based as an online English teacher. I thought, okay, I'm going to do this for 6 months only while I'm looking for another opportunity. So I still thought on the back of my mind, I'm going to work at an office. But I really enjoyed the job. I loved it so much. And I thought, why should I commute? Why should I waste my time commuting when I could do an exceptional job at home? So I stayed there for 2 years. And after 2 years, I started looking for. That's a struggle that I found because after 2 years in that career, I didn't find the growth that I wanted. And so I looked for another opportunity. I went freelancing for a while. I worked for a startup in the US, working for sales and then business development. And afterwards, I found CrewBloom. So I saw this ad online, and Brianna was looking for someone who could help her build her business here in the Philippines, and then to find the people that she needs for the clients that she's got lined up for CrewBloom. And that's how we started. That's how we met. We actually started CrewBloom, just the two of us. And then now it grew to an almost 100-man team that it is now after 2 years. So I'm really happy.
Wow.
We're both happy to see the growth at the company. So that's how my background. That's how we started CrewBloom and how we're pacing right now.
Cool. So I think a lot of people really, I'm also from a BPO sector or BPO company before I jump into uncertainty world, right? Uncertain world of freelancing, of doing works independently. So for I think for those who really how's the struggles shifting from a very from a full-time job into into freelancing and then building your company right now?
Oh, that's a really good question. Actually, when I graduated and I opted to work home-based, it was a struggle already because everyone was having an office-based job, and there I was working home-based. I was working 6 days a week.
Wow.
On my first job. It was scary because you feel like, oh my gosh, why am I not working at an office? Why am I not following the traditional way people actually find work?
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it is actually worth the risk because I was able to realize that, like right now, if we talked about working home based with an office employee of like 10 years, they wouldn't notice me. They would like just ignore me. But right now, remote work is actually booming, and more people want to shift from an office setup to a home-based setup. That I now realized it's worth the risk that I took. It was super uncertain at first, but right now, being a home-based worker or even like a freelancer is really worth the jump from an office setup. So I definitely suggest that everyone just check it out, try it out. But before doing that, look at your skills first. But there's a lot of resources right now that you could use, especially for first timers or just people that want to know more about being a remote worker.
Yes. I think a lot of people right now really, I think some are really into their full-time job, so they don't take advantage of the new technologies, of the new workforce that are booming right now. So thank you for sharing that insights. That's really a cool one. So for those, I think let's go back a little bit about your journey. So how's the from in your perspective as a co-founder of CrewBloom? So you mentioned like what you mentioned, the remote workforce is booming right now. So how do you cater those needs? How do you connect remote workers or freelancers to the clients? How do you come up with this idea of CrewBloom? Can you share a little bit about that experience, that journey?
Right.
For sure, there's a lot of people who really don't know how to start a company that's now you're now 100 persons, right? That's really a great, just tremendous growth for you at CrewBloom.
Okay, so let me answer your first question first, which is really all about like how we started CrewBloom.
Yes.
The brainchild of CrewBloom is Brianna, my co-founder. She was working at Amazon before. She worked for startups in the US, and then she worked for Amazon, and she met with a lot of business owners that's just struggling to find talents in the US. Not only is it very expensive for them, it's also time consuming, and retaining top performers in the US is difficult, because if you're a top performer, right, you could imagine that you get a lot of offers. So retention and nutrition is one of their biggest problems as well. When she left Amazon, she traveled around Asia. She came to the Philippines, which is great. I'm glad she added it to her itinerary. So when she came to the Philippines, she met with a lot of Filipinos and got a background about the call center industry in the Philippines. And she also got like a gist of, okay, Filipinos have exceptional English skills. Not like comparing it with our Asian counterparts. I'm so sorry for those who are listening, but Filipinos have a really good English skills.
And we are really talented, right?
Yes, I'm so proud of that. I'm not. I don't want to insult anyone, but everyone can attest to that. That Filipinos have really good English skills. So she noticed that, and then she also learned about the call center industry, the culture, the pay, and all. She also learned about the traffic. So she learned a lot about the Filipino culture. And so she got that idea that, okay, why don't I connect these people, the cream of the crop professionals in the Philippines, to the companies in the US that's looking for talents? Because Filipinos can compete. They can easily compete with global talents. So with that idea in mind, she founded CrewBloom. She tested her idea, just putting out ads online, and we met. Wow. So that's how we started the company. So how we find people right now is we have a 5-step screening process. It's actually pretty rigorous. This allows us to find the best of the best people who will join our pool, because what we promised our clients is you will have the best people to join your remote team. You won't have any headaches about attrition. You won't have any headaches about the performance, because we will only move forward the best professionals to join you, to join your business. And so with that promise, we just keep the screening process on our end very rigorous. It makes our clients very satisfied. All of them are very, very happy. The first client that we had is still with us after more than 2 years, which is a great achievement for us.
It's hard to retain the clients, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And it's a testament actually to the performance of our contractors and to how exceptional Filipino professionals are. So no doubt we could compete to the global talent pool. So that's how we actually do it. How we connect these professionals, of course, all they need to do is apply to CrewBloom. So when they pass, we endorse them to one of our client partners. We base it on their skill set. If, for example, they came from the BPO, right, and they have experience in financial account, then we connect the contractors, the Filipino contractors that we've hired, to these clients that's looking for that specific skill set.
This is not actually all about BPO, right? You can also hire programmers, designers, right? So something like that, or you also hire developers. How do you find that? I think talented people for that particular areas.
Okay, that's a really good question. Mainly all about our services is focused on finding sales representatives, customer service reps, business development professionals, admin professionals. Cool. So for your question about the technical side of hiring, it's not our focus yet. So it's not a service that we are able to provide to our clients yet. So when we look for developers, for example, they are actually hired directly by CrewBloom, not by our clients.
Okay.
Yep. And how we find these people, we use social media. We use LinkedIn, we use Facebook, and the main source of hires is referrals, because we were able to build a really good network of professionals in the Philippines. We get tons of referrals from everyone that we tap, from applicants to crew bloomers, or meaning contractors that's already on board. We get a lot of referrals, and that's how we find the people to join our team.
Cool. So you've also mentioned skill set, right? So if anyone who are, would like to jump out from jump in this uncertain world of freelance. No, just kidding. We're not discouraging you guys. So in this freelancing world, I think a lot of people really afraid to try new things, to to overcome their self doubt, which is one of the reason why I started this podcast, to inspire someone who really don't find inspirations to push themselves further. You've mentioned skill sets. How do how do you what you call this? How do you find your high paying skills? So we can call it high paying skills for freelancing world. How do you find your purpose as a freelancer? Can you share a little bit about your tips or insights about that?
Right. Okay. First and foremost, there are so many top paying skills, as you mentioned. So it varies for every professional because we have different work experience, right? So the first step is for you to assess, okay, what are the top 3 or top 5 skills that I'm really good at? And then once you were able to list down all of those skill sets, the next step for you is just start looking at the market. So search for recruitment sites or job sites, and then look for the job openings. So say if your top skill set is business development, try searching for a home-based business development role. And if you find that there's not a lot of opportunities on that job or on that skill set or on that industry, the next step is to go to your next skill, top 2 skill, and then try searching that. And if you find that, okay, on the list that I made, on the top 3 or 5 skills that I made, the second one is the most quote unquote in demand, then utilize that skill, get online certificates. Gosh, there's like a lot of resources that you can use right now. Yes, and then right. I think you're familiar about that, but there is a specific learning sites for specific skill sets. So you could do your own research about that and then just utilize that skill, promote it on LinkedIn, promote it on professional networking sites. So employers will start noticing you, and then you can start to find the home-based job that you really wanted with a good pay.
Cool. So you mentioned LinkedIn. I think you've been using this a lot, right? So I've been into realizing this also for a bit. How do you manage your LinkedIn profile? How do you convert it into to a more appealing, more professional profile for those who are really like to leverage their online presence, their online or professional profile? Can you share a little bit tips or tricks for that? But I think a lot of people really find this interesting too.
Yeah. Okay, I love this topic. Thanks so much for asking me. Okay, so I noticed that in the Philippines, not a lot of professionals use or leverage LinkedIn to find jobs. That's what I noticed.
I'm part of it.
We're still using... No. Okay. So a lot of people are still using resumes, and I don't see anything wrong with that if you're really gonna apply in office. But if you want to start working home-based, then a LinkedIn profile is essential. Most clients, not just in the US, but also in Australia and the UK, they look at LinkedIn profiles. So if you start applying, you start sending out your resumes, having an updated LinkedIn profile gives you an edge
Yes.
to other applicants that's submitting old-fashioned resumes. I always tell this to like everyone I meet that if you have a LinkedIn profile, don't just stop creating one, because most people do that. Once they have a LinkedIn profile, they don't even bother adding a profile photo. That's it. They only create a LinkedIn profile for the sake of having a LinkedIn profile. And so the first step is, of course, adding your photo, adding your work experience, connecting the companies that you've worked with before, adding a description on the work experience that you added, adding your educational background, adding certificates if you have, adding connections, relevant connections, and also adding a brief introduction to your LinkedIn profile. Make it 100% updated. Treat it as your online resume. So if your online resume doesn't look good, then chances are if clients actually visit your profile, then they wouldn't really bother connecting with you or responding to your message if you reached out to them.
Cool. So that's really value bomb for that. For LinkedIn user who really for those who really want to update their profile, their online presence. So actually, I rarely use LinkedIn. I'm part of those who really don't recognize the the relevance and it is one way to one of the best way to find your best job or best company for you.
Yeah, right.
So I'm maximum if you maximize those things that Kate has mentioned, so probably you'll be on the right path, right? So don't be me. So I barely use it because I have personal website. So that's one of my first on the list. So I submit my personal website and that's it. So for those who have a website, you can also add your LinkedIn profile and maximize it, use that potential, and like what Kate mentioned, it will really help you a lot on finding your job. So Kate, thank you so much for your value bombs. For those, I think let's go back in your personal experiences, right? So for just to give inspiration and motivation. So for those who are just starting out to jump into this freelancing world or onto this new world we are facing right now, I think the future is the online workforce, right?
Yes,
so
agree.
Can you share a little bit your for motivation, can you share your thoughts for those who just getting started?
Okay. It's gotta be difficult at first.
Yes.
It's not gonna be easy, guys. There are different scenarios.
Yes.
So let's start if you want to be a freelancer. If you want to be a freelancer, then always provide. Well, I'm not saying that if you're a full-time home-based worker or remote worker, you don't provide value. But for freelancers, what I noticed is that reviews matter a lot, or your performance in your last contract really matters, and you will get more job opportunities or contract opportunities if you left a good impression to your past clients, because you will also get a lot of referrals. So when you're starting with your freelancing journey, don't be very picky about the clients that you work with. I am not saying that you pick any job. No.
Yes.
Because some Filipinos just pick, any jobs because it's there and they get cheated out of their pay. I don't want you guys to do that.
Yeah.
But be a bit more selective about the pay, of course, but don't have super high expectations at the same time. So when you're just starting, your main focus really is to provide more value and then get more reviews. So you get repeat customers and then you get referrals. So that's for freelancers. It's not gonna be easy, but there are networks that you could utilize, and other like support groups on Facebook, for example. So you could get more tips from freelancers with years of experience already. Now, if you want to have a full-time home-based job, again, same tip. Before you commit, look at the offers first. Like, look at the base salary, if there are opportunities for career advancement, if there are benefits that's provided by the company. Because again, it's a full-time job. You're gonna be tied to that company, and of course, you would like to have growth in that career that you've chosen. So be more selective here. Look at different job offers that's given to you if there's a lot, and select one where you could have career growth and there's stability. That is, I feel, the most important for most people who wanted to find a full-time home-based job.
Wow, that's cool. So that's really practical insights from Kate. And for those who are really, you really like to push themselves further or just try new things and get out of the office space. Right. So, do you have you is there's a time that when you're working at your before and in a BPO company full time, is there a time that you get stuck or feel uninspired doing the work, right? So how do you balance? How do you overcome those struggles and challenges for those who just getting started or feeling uninspired or unstuck, right? So can you share about your struggles and how do you overcome those?
Okay. So I'm gonna utilize I'm gonna use my first job experience as an example.
Sure, yeah.
On my first year working there, I'm really satisfied, even if I didn't get promotions or I didn't get other benefits or even a bump on my salary. But halfway through, maybe on my year, after 1 year and a half, I felt that I had to leave. I was super uninspired because there's just no growth for me. But I stayed on for another 6 months because I had to think
just
about it. Like I couldn't just, I couldn't just leave. I feel like, especially if you're working remotely and you find a company to work for, you have to think about, like, you have to weigh the options before you leave. Don't just leave. Find another job first. Yes, exactly. As you mentioned, be practical. Don't just leave. Because the competition is fierce right now. So before leaving your full-time home-based job, weigh the options first. Find a replacement for that job that you leave before you hand in your resignation. But to inspire yourself, if you're in a slump, for example, like list down things that makes you happy about your recent job.
Cool.
So what makes you happy? What makes you unhappy? And if the cons are heavier than the pros, then it's time for you to leave.
That's the sign.
But if the pros is more than the cons, come on, like don't give up halfway. I don't really believe in doing that. Like a lot of people just leave just because I don't like the company anymore, blah 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 blah.
I hope that's BS, right?
I hope people don't do that. Like don't just leave a job. Like list it down first. Not all companies are perfect. So
sorry.
I feel like everyone has to be a bit more smart in making a decision before leaving their job.
Yeah, I think what Kate's saying is to be smart when you shifting into a new direction or a new path. If you feel uninspired, then go
Yeah.
go. Don't go as soon as
Don't just go.
don't just go, right? So just be
Right.
practical. So,
Yeah,
but
and then I
it's,
suggest talk to
yes,
your family and friends as well. Like tell them about what's happening in your role. Like
yeah,
and then look at other people first. Like, hey, what's happening? What's up with their
yes,
job? Something like that.
yeah.
So
Especially
you get
yeah,
more insights.
especially for those who are really risk taker, right? Don't
Yeah, yeah.
if you like to know more about freelancing or you can also uh, uh, talk to a friend that's
Mm,
in the field right now, or you can also get a mentor or something like that, or you can
right.
go online and search the internet as much as you can. So I think really shared a lot of insight and tips on that particular topic. So Kate, you've mentioned your struggles and how do you overcome it. So how do you in this right now you have a company and
Mm-hmm.
you're working remotely. How do you
Mm-hmm.
balance the work and life? I think it's a never ending debate, right? So how is it really? Is there's really a work life balance? Or can you share your insights or thoughts about that?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, there is.
Yes.
Um,
Mhm.
for me, when I when we started CrewBloom, there's obviously a lot of things to be done, but I'm really thankful because Brianna was there to just remind me, okay, we have to just take a step back and we
Mhm.
have to be good to ourselves. So with that in mind, I push myself really hard. Like I work hard to get things done, but at the
Yes.
same time, I also know how to play hard. Say if I take a day off, I take a
Mhm.
day off. Like I don't open my email. I don't really
Yes.
think about work. Um, I call it unplugging
Mhm.
because it's
Yeah,
important,
it's
especially for
cool.
us who work remotely, because we need to just be good to ourselves
Mhm.
by doing things that we wanted to do. One of the things that I started as a practice this year is to just block an hour of my time every day. I
Yeah.
even
Mhm.
put it on my calendar just to learn something new or to just do my thing. I
Yeah.
love reading books, so I set aside a time
Yeah.
for me to just read books, do my hobbies, that's important. So just treat your hobbies
Yes.
as part of your uh in a way like work or
Cool.
responsibility,
So do you
so you won't
still,
forget.
yeah, do you still
Mm-hmm.
use journal, or do you plan out your day?
Ah.
Your what's the typical day for Kate? Can you share waking up and then do you meditate or something like, or you exercise then go to work? Can you share a little bit about that for those who I think a lot of freelancer
Mm.
or even me, if, on my first
Mm.
year, I struggled a lot
Yeah.
on balancing my time, and I think it's
Okay.
a different world when you're
Mm.
working at home and you're working at office, right? So
Right.
there's you need to be very you need to be very I forgot the the word. You need
Mm-hmm.
to balance your work,
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
family time. There's a lot of
Yeah.
disturbances going on, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Okay. So in terms of organizing your work, I suggest you plot you plot it on your calendar. I use Google Calendar to just plot, okay, these are the things that I need to get done this day or this week. So set aside like a schedule, like a 9 to 5 in a way, but just blocking it. Okay, like before I start the week, my calendar is already fully booked, or 80% of my calendar is already booked. Yeah, so I know what needs to get done within that week, within that day. Like everything's mapped out, and that would give me a clear idea of my free time. So my family is aware. Okay, Kate works from 9 up until 6. After that, she will be free. Like she will have free time. So having that kind of schedule is important. So telling your family, okay, this is my work time. I don't want to be disturbed during these hours. And making that clear to your family will help you a lot. And then letting them know, okay, I'm out this time. We could go out, or we could do the things that you want to do, like go buy groceries, something like that. So just setting your schedule as well, both on your work and then during your free time.
Cool. That's really, I think blocking out or planning out your entire week is really creative way to be productive, right? So I will try that out. So we've shared a lot about productivity and your tips on freelancing and your time management, or how do you design your time or your day. For those who are just can you give your best practical advice for those who are uninspired right now or unstuck on their situations? Can you give your best practical advice to wrap up this whole episode?
Right. Okay. We've all been there. We've all been stuck in a specific situation. So I'm sure everyone could relate. But like on my end, what I did is just talk to my family. I was very vocal about my struggles, both on my personal life and on my work as well. And that actually helped me because I was able to get tons of really good advice from people that I love, and they wouldn't really give you a bad advice because they are thinking about you. And so for me, just share your thoughts, share your struggles with your friends, close friends that you trust, and then your family. And then once you get more of their how to say this advice, then that's the time that you also have to meditate, and then think about what you really want to do. If you're not really sure about what you want to do next, don't make snap decisions. Shifting from like going out of a situation where you're really stuck is difficult, but making immediate decisions to quote unquote make you feel that, okay, I doing this will help me get out of this situation, that is not smart. So just think about your situation, and then once you've thought it through so many times, then that's the time that you have to make the leap. Don't be scared to make the leap. I think that if you thought about your situation for like months and then you arrived at the conclusion, and then after you arrive at the conclusion, you're still scared to make the leap. Oh my gosh. That's like the most difficult part, just making the leap. Yeah. But you have to. Yeah, you have to trust yourself that there's like other people that's going to back you up. There are people that's going to help you out after you have arrived at whatever decision that you had made.
Yeah, I think what Kate's mentioned is the value of your loved ones, and being unafraid of uncertainty. So be excited on new trying new things or something like that. So for those who really uninspired right now, I think Kate's what Kate's mentioned is really inspirational and valuable. So thank you so much, Kate, for your time and presence. So,
No, thank you so much.
You also mentioned you're reading a lot of books. Can you share your favorite books also? For those who can you share your books recommendation for our listeners?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I read a lot of novels.
Novels.
Well, yeah. I read a lot of novels. I'm mainly into historical books, but I really don't have specific authors. I'm so sorry. Just because I devour books.
Yeah.
My coworkers
Sure.
can attest to that. I just
Mhm.
love reading books, and so I have no specific author really that I love. All novels I read just
Yes.
so I could distress and learn more about other things as well.
Okay, so cool. So thank you so much, Kate, for your time and for spending almost an hour talking with.
No, thank you so much,
Yeah,
Jay. It's
this is
a pleasure to
really.
be here.
Yeah, I'm honored to have you on the show. So for those who like to reach you out, and what is the best channels that they can talk to you, or if they have a questions to reach you?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. So guys, if you want to learn more about CrewBloom, visit our website. It's www.crewbloom, that's crewblom.com, or you could visit our Facebook page. If you're looking for a home-based job, you could also find our careers there on our website, or even on our Facebook page. We always post it. If you have questions about LinkedIn, you could reach me through LinkedIn. You can create your own profile to message me there.
Yeah.
So just search my
I'll
name.
message you. I'll message you later through LinkedIn.
Yeah. So just message me through LinkedIn and I can help you out. Just give you advice on how you could optimize your LinkedIn profile. No problem. Just send me a message.
Yes, that's great. So thank you so much, Kate. Thank you again for sure. For those who are listening, I will add the links on our show notes. All the topics or all the important links that we've mentioned here in this episode. You will find it below on our show notes. If you're listening to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, you can scroll down. If you're listening to Google Podcasts, you can also scroll down and find the links below. And you can also check all the episode on our website, thedesignlifeshow.com, and you will find all the episode, including this episode. So this is really a great episode. So thank you so much again, Kate, for your time, and I'm truly honored to have you on the show, and hope to talk to you soon.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Jay.
And that's a wrap. So thank you so much for listening onto this week podcast with Kate. I really enjoyed that, and I hope you enjoyed that as well. So if you like to support this podcast, and I really need your help, so you can go to patreon.com/TDLS. So that's patreon.com/TDLS, and you can also leave a review on Apple Podcasts. In that way, we can reach more people. And thank you so much again for Sem Manala and Gio Ben Silva for sharing for being a Patreon and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for supporting. So again, and I hope to share more values for on next week episode, right? So talk to you soon, and I hope to hear from you all soon. Just leave a review on Apple Podcasts, right? So thank you so much, guys, and have a great weekend.